let's get into things international. Sky News contributor Kosha Garda, former Labor MP Michael Danby. I want to start with all this talk today, and we certainly saw it in the headlines. Hamas agrees to ceasefire. We learned this afternoon that the IDF, this is the Israeli forces, have taken control of the Gaza side of the Rafah crossing. Now, this ceasefire deal was mediated by Qatar and Egypt. We're told that the Israelis will not sign up. They say it's far from Israel's basic requirements. Michael Danby, you've got some insights here about stuff that just isn't reported out there in the mainstream media. Why aren't Israel at this stage agreeing to ceasefire?
Well, Al Jazeera just issued the terms of the Hamas ceasefire. It changes a fundamental issue of 33 living hostages were to be released to 33 living or dead. Now,
and that's why the Israelis won't sign up.
That's why the Israelis won't sign up. Then Hamas killed 4 Israeli soldiers at the place where humanitarian aid is being transferred, Kerem Shalom, and now they've gone into Rafah. So they've seized a small southeastern corner. They've issued maps for people to transfer to the beach and to Khan Yunis, and they're really responding to Hamas in the way that dishonest, crooked release by Al Jazeera highlights.
Living hostages and then to living and dead. And every time I hear the word of the hostages, I hate to think what they have gone through. And I wonder how many are even still alive.
Well, it's exactly that. That may be not 33 alive, but you don't make agreements with the Secretary of State of the United States, the Egyptian government, Qatar, Israel, and then abrogate it unilaterally, and then have the BBC and the world media hail it as a great achievement.
I guess the problem here is everyone's reading the headlines today, and I certainly did, seeing that the Hamas has given in to the ceasefire demands. I think that's at least a start. Whereas Israel on this, but
it's true. We live
half a story.
Snackable content in this digital era. It's this headline-based information economy. People read headlines. There's no incentive to click further down and dissect an issue. And when Israel is already swimming upstream in the PR battle in many ways, this certainly doesn't help.
Hey, Trump warning today about breaching court orders and all sorts of things, and threats about sending him to jail. What's happening?
So this is the gag order in the New York criminal case, the hush money trial case. Most people continue, including Trump haters, which there are many, continue to see this as nakedly political. Something like 70% of Republicans and 22% of independents see it that way, because the origins of the case, the novel legal theory that stitched together these different statutes to bring this charge that other prosecutors, including the New York State, failed to or declined prosecuting
including
before.
The Department of Justice.
And the Department of Justice and the Federal Election Committee, that's kind of the crux of the legal theory. Then you have this motley crew of witnesses and unreliable narrators, a porn star, his convicted perjurer, fixer, like you can't make this stuff up. And then on top of that, you layer on a gag order, which many say is completely unconstitutional, because if there's one person in the country that should be allowed to speak freely, it is a criminal defendant, when the entire weight of the system is against him.
Yes.
And then you layer on top of that he's actually a former president and the current front runner trying to campaign. So it gets a lot of people very angry. But I think the high stakes maneuver here is it's political. It's using the tools to somehow contain him. And if he is to be convicted, which people expect he will be, does that muddy him up enough that some swath of the electorate who doesn't pay attention to these details will find him untouchable and won't vote for him?
We haven't got much time. VP frontrunners for Trump, what can you tell us?
Congressman Elise Stefanik, who chaired that memorable session where she got the university presidents on the run.
Yes.
Really good exposure, really good questions. J.D. Vance, the author of Hillbilly Elegy, who's become the sort of leader of the isolationist wing.
Yes.
And Governor of North Dakota, Doug
Burgum.
Doug, yeah. And finally, great addition, African-American Senator Tim Scott. Now, he's a really articulate. The only trouble with him is he's too nice a guy to be in politics.
We don't mind a nice guy every once in a while. You're a nice guy, Michael Danby.
Oh, well.
I'll leave it there. Thank you both.